Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated super featherweight contender. It is, of course, Mr. Archie Sharp. Archie, welcome back on the show, my man.
Thank you for having me back on. It's good to be back. How are you?
Yeah, my friend, always good when speaking with you, Archie. So we last spoke just last month, so not long ago at all. But yeah, a lot has happened since then. Obviously, you've had a fight in that time and also had your next fight announced. Let's start with the fight you did have at York Hall. Facundo Arce. I'm probably demolishing his name. But yeah, May the 11th, I was there, obviously. What a dramatic fight, Arch. Nightmare start. Talk me through it.
Yeah, like you say, nightmare of a start. First one back with Frank in Queensbury, back on TNT. And then, walked out, first 30 seconds, got caught cold with a good shot. And, put me down, obviously, in the first round. So that was very foreign territory for myself. And, we had to, like I said, I've never been there before. So it was a matter of adapting and getting up and getting through it and doing what we needed to do. And pleased that I managed to get through for the rest of the fight. To be fair, like you say, if you watch from the second round to the end of the fight, if you watched it from the second, like I say, you wouldn't expect anything went wrong. I was in full control. I was dominating the fight for the rest of the fight. And but like I say, just got caught cold on the first round, and unfortunately, it was just one of them things.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to note as well, you obviously dropped him as well. But no, you're right. And obviously, Archie, I don't want to make excuses for you at all. But obviously, it's the first fight back with Frank. You knew that there was potentially a big fight, down the line for you in the very near future, which I think, we know what that fight was now. You pulled up in a Lamborghini. I don't want to make excuses, but was your mind just not there, maybe?
Well, the thing is, you're right. At the end of the day, I knew that we had this fight on the 27th of July was going to be next. So you could say that I was probably overlooking that fight, but I don't think there was any excuses. I just think that shot was what I probably needed, a little bit of humble pie, and this goes to show that no matter what level you're competing at in this boxing, even though it was a fight that we wasn't interested in taking, obviously, because I wanted the big fights, just goes to show. So you get caught with 8-ounce gloves when you're not prepared, then it could be very, very dangerous. But like I say, fortunately for myself, we got caught and we recovered very well, and we moved on, and like I say, just made it dramatic and made it interesting for the fans. To say the least, it was a nervy watch. Let's look forward though to your next one. Like I say, July 27th, as part of that Joyce Chisora undercard at the O2 Arena, you'll be boxing Ryan Garner. Garner obviously boxed Liam Dillon on the same night as your fight last month. Did you watch Garner's fight, Arch? Because I know that you don't like to hang around much after you've boxed. Yeah, no, I did watch it, to be fair, but I had the kids with me, and it was also, I didn't watch it as closely as what my trainers would have been watching it. But I literally flipped back and watched 30 seconds of each round, and it's just the same typical Garner that kind of I'm expecting, really. He's just fit in game. But Dylan's a very tough man, and there's nothing new really with Garner. You know what you're going to get with Garner.
And talking of what we're going to get with Garner, what do we know about Garner, Arch? I mean, surely this has got to be viewed as the toughest fight of your career?
You could argue that. It probably is, but then again, this is all I've ever had as my career. Someone get fit, sit on Archie's chest. Do you know what I mean? That is it. At the end of the day, he ain't going to bring anything new to the table, which I've not seen before, and what he hasn't done before. It's not like he can come in there with 4 or 5 different game plans, because we know that he's got no chance of outboxing me. So what his work rate, all he's going to try and do is just get fit and come forward. But look, at the end of the day, at this sort of level now, fitness and gameness don't win fights. And I think you'll see a masterclass. Like, people will probably think it's a 50-50 fight, but I'm confident in what I can do. And I generally believe you'll see the best Archie Sharp coming out of fights like this.
See, that leads me perfectly into this next question, because I was going to say, you've always said that the better the opposition, the better version of Archie Sharp we'll see. Obviously, I remember those days when you were the underdog against Leon Woodstock. You boxed excellently. You were down on the cards against Declan Geraghty and scored that fantastic, probably best knockout of your career. And then, you know, he's not a household name, but that fight against Art John Ramlavs, you know, he turned out to be a right nightmare. We've seen it since. He's a capable guy, but again, it was an entertaining scrap and a dominant win. It seems like when you've been in these harder fights, you've performed at your best. And yeah, I was going to ask you, will Garner bring out the best in you?
Yeah, I believe this fight is this is what I need. You know, this is why I took the fight, because people could argue and say, "Oh, Arch, why are you taking the fight? You're number 3 in the WBO or number 2 in the WBO. You're back with Frank. Kick on to a bigger fight if you like." But for myself, this is a great domestic fight. Brian Garner's game, he's unbeaten, and this is what makes me train hard. This is what makes me get the best version of myself, and I genuinely believe that this is what I'm going to do, and I'm capable of putting on a masterclass performance. Archie Sharp today at 29 would beat Archie Sharp at 24, 25 when I boxed Leon Woodstock. So at the end of the day, I'm at the best. Well, I think I was younger than that, 23, 24. So when I was having my good years in 2019, I'm a lot better, wiser, stronger, bigger fighter than I was back then. So, and like I say, I'm going to showcase that on July 27th.
And, you know, it's important as well. Obviously, you understand better than most how mental boxing is, you know, just as much as physical, if not more, actually, more mental than physical. And there are some fighters in the past, again, I'm not making no excuses, but Callum Smith springs to mind. He used to fight someone who no one has ever heard of, and he'd look awful. But then when it was time to crank it up, he was absolutely doubtless world class. When he got in with someone better than that, you know, someone at that top level, he was world class, no question. But when he fought someone that he seemed to not really be mentally motivated for, he didn't look good. And I don't know if that's the same case with you. I don't know if it was just one off night the other night, but you know, they do say in boxing that you are only as good as your last fight. I don't think necessarily it's true all the time, but it begs the question, if you did rock up to the O2 Arena and box like you did in that last fight, how do you see it going, Arch? Will it not be good enough?
Yeah, like I say, at the end of the day, look, I last fight I adapted, and once, obviously, after the first round, I had to keep pushing the pace, pushing forward. Where at some stages, me and Garner will be in the pocket, and you got to fight fire with fire. That's no problem at all. But the thing is, with myself, no matter what, whether it was if I'm fighting when I was fighting the other week, the other month, I'll always do enough to win. So it's not a problem. I'll always find it out to win. Like I say, you see me behind against Deco, and we pulled it out of the bag. Some 25-0, boxed at elite level as an amateur, and done the same there as well.
And also, you got the longest win streak of any British fighter right now, 25-0. Who's kind of viewed as the A side here, Archie? I've noticed this build as Garner versus Sharp. Is there an A side?
No, do you know what it is? Listen, I haven't. Garner is the one who's contracted Frank. So, like saying, I'm fighting for his belt. So I don't know if there's an A-B side or not. But to be fair, it's all irrelevant to me, because this is what I need. Like I say, I've been inactive for a couple of years. I haven't been with Frank for a while. So it's no skin of mine. It is what it is. And once I beat Garner, it puts me back in the mix, back on the good fights. And that super featherweight division is buzzing at the minute. So obviously we see Cacace and Warrington been matched, so there's loads of good fights. I'll take care of business on July 27th.
And talking of actually Anthony Cacace in general, obviously he pulled off a shock upset stoppage win over Joe Cordina. I did want to get your reaction to that, and also your thoughts on his first offence, which will be, as you say, against Josh Warrington.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you, I probably wasn't expecting. I wasn't calling Cacace to win. I did think he can cause problems. I didn't think them sort of problems, you know. So he put, like you say, it's a great career. It's all about timing. He's had a very sticky career over it, and now he's had his opportunity. He performed when it mattered, and that's the difference. He performed when it mattered, and and got the knockout win and won in fashion. So fair play to him.
And the thoughts on that Warrington fight, Arch?
Yeah, the Warrington fight, I think it's interesting. I didn't see that because obviously I thought he had to defend against, is it Nunez, whatever his name is, the Mexican guy. That was supposed to be his mandatory defense against him, who's 126, not 26 out. Mexican guy, a very good kid. He knocked Burchow out. So that was who he was supposed to be fighting. But I think, like I say, they made the Warrington fight, which I didn't see coming, and I think it's a good fight. I think Cacace beats Warrington.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, it'd be interesting. And yeah, I hate to kind of end on a bit of a negative or sad note, but one thing, obviously, that you've been missing for the last two fights is Roy Jones Jr.'s input, being there physically in camp. This is obviously, pretty much possibly the biggest fight of your life here. However, we all saw the breaking news last week that Roy's son, DeAndre, committed suicide. Tragic situation, devastating. But kind of selfishly, where does that leave you, Arch?
It's tragic news, mate. I just spoke to Roy a couple of days ago, so obviously sending my love to him and the family and the prayers with him all. It's just such sad news. But in regards to myself, mate, I wouldn't want to put that sort of pressure on him, so I just leave him to it. If he wants to be here, then obviously it's lovely. It's a bonus having him here. But other than that, mate, I just leave him to it. He's got, like you say, boxing's boxing and it's my career, don't get me wrong. But I mean, for himself, it's his family. He just lost his son, so who am I to be getting onto his case about fights and stuff? So we just crack on with ourselves, with Richard and Ian. And Lee Wilkins has got the team, so everything's all good. We're in a good place. What we've got to do, obviously, is such sad news, but no, the show must go on for us. So we've just got to crack on. But if he still wants to be there and come over, then obviously it'd be, like I say, it's a bonus. But no, I wouldn't even dare get onto him about any sort of boxing.
No, fair enough, man. But yeah, it's just a tragic situation, as we say. Just before we let you go, Arch, if you've got any closing words to the listeners, I think you've got the record of being on the podcast more than any other fighter. So you're loved over here.
No, lovely. Look, the thing is, just stay tuned on July 27th. It's a great card anyway. But me and Ryan Garner is going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a great fight. Fireworks are going to be expected as always, especially. Like I say, no matter what fight he's in, he always comes forward, and everybody knows as well, if we need a bite in the gum shield, then we like to stand in the pocket and have a dust up ourselves. So I reckon it's going to be a great fight, and so stay tuned.
Absolutely, it's a fantastic card. Listen, Archie, as always, the pleasure's mine. Thanks for your time. Best of luck on the 27th of July, and we'll speak again soon, my friend.
Definitely. God bless you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you.